The button has been pressed, Lewis. We are live, but
Which button?
I'm going to
Not
count
the big red one.
3, 2, what? The bits are coming in. I see some bits, but I see no picture. The picture's the best part. Boom! And we're live. There we go, Lewis. Give me some energy here. We're live, Lewis. Oh, you want the tweet. Is that what you were looking for on your computer screen?
Waiting for the tweet, yeah.
Look at this one. Look at this tweet. It's coming in hot. I hope your hands are ready. It's going to be a hot potato. You're not even going to be able to hold this tweet. There it is, Lewis. I'm on top of it today. Shout out to Ulysses Martinez. He says, hey, y'all. Shout out to Captain Dr. Zach Hicks, an actual doctor. Not just an English professor. Oh, man, we're bad. Captain Future says, howdy. Jack says, hello. Jeff Druin, sup, peeps? Streamline said, let the best hour of YouTube each week begin. Oh, shoot. Are they broadcasting as well? Are we going at the same time as another show? I'm just joking. It's us, I know. Let's see. I want to give you guys a very happy yeah. And I don't want to hear nothing about it, Lewis. Guys, we got a great show planned for you today. You know, we're going to do something different. Normally, we just talk about news. We are going to do that. We're also going to talk about Apple news, but we're going to do some educational content here on the show today. We're going to teach you guys about what's going on iOS 16, all the cool new features. Lewis Wallace, PhD, is, I call him Dr. Lewis Wallace. He's going to be educating us on the new features in iOS 16 mail app. There's some really cool stuff coming to that.
We're in deep trouble.
And I'm sure that will go off without a hitch. And then we're just going to go through some other Apple news stories that I don't have my notes in front of me, so I don't actually remember.
It's all good stuff.
It's all good stuff. I
no
mean,
slack.
Look.
No chaff. All wheat.
It's all wheat. And, you know, I take pride in knowing that even with the most boring of stories, it's not going to be as dry as Gruber's talk show. No matter what happens, it won't leave you with dry mouth like the talk show does. Mark LaPointe's here. Shout out to Mark LaPointe. Can we get burrito talk this week? Oh, it wasn't burrito talk. It was what were we talking about last week?
Truffle talk.
Truffle talk. That's right. Oh man, you guys missed.
I think it's a request for an upgrade.
Yeah, you guys missed last week's TruffleCast podcast live, and I know that you missed it because it was just me and Lewis. It was weird because we tweeted about it. And we must have been having connection issues because no one connected to watch TruffleCast live. We talked about like truffle flavor, truffle aroma, techniques for finding truffles, our favorite colors of pig. I mean, all sorts of. Lewis likes the hairy ones. I like the smooth ones. Pigs, you know, some are hairy. Anyway, let's get into this show here, Lewis.
What in the world is going on?
I don't know. What is going on with you? And is LK even still alive? I honestly don't even know.
I have proof of life.
You do?
Well, I guess it's not proof if only I have it.
Oh, okay.
You're going to have to subpoena me for it.
No way. I'm sending the FBI straight to your house, Lewis. I don't even care about subpoenas. I have them go in guns blazing, shoot first, ask questions later. That's what I tell them.
Tell you what, they're going to have a hell of a time finding it in this hoarder's nightmare.
They're not finding nothing in that room. They're not going to find nothing. Now I'm going full screen Lewis here. They're not finding nothing in there. Although I do see you have some like bins full of screws and washers back there. Is that right?
Maybe they'll find my my missing lightning cable.
You missing one? I should send you one. I have about 15.
I have a short list of suspects.
Yeah, right. It's very short. In fact, it's one bullet point. Oh man! All right. I can't believe that we have 20 people here watching this nonsense. Let's get this thing on the road. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, and not a lot of time to talk about it because it's already 12:40, Lewis, and Lewis and I have been doing the show by ourselves for 40 minutes, laughing about nonsense, and now we get to do the actual show. So let me cue up Mrs. You Know Who. Oh, Mrs. D, we're ready to start. Hello. Mrs. D, have you happened to see one Mr. L. Caney? We haven't heard from him. Oh, yes. He and I had a very erotic discussion last night. He's very much alive. You could say I give him a bit of my frosting. Oh, goodness.
Jeez.
Nat, yeah, that's too much, Mrs. D. We don't want to hear that. All right. Let's go
Might have to give
ahead.
her a breather.
What's that?
Might have to give her a breather if she keeps this up. Time out. That's
She
what
likes-
they call
she
it,
likes-
isn't it?
She likes El Kenny. I'm just happy to hear that El Kenny is still alive. Because
You know what he's doing?
What?
He's refinishing his countertops.
oh, great.
Putting like epoxy or something. So basically, you're taking the morning off to sniff glue. Great.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's going to be part
That's
of it.
just great.
I'm sure that's going to be part of it. All right, Lewis. Let me get the music queued up here, Mrs. D. If you don't mind, let's get this show rolling in 3, 2. Hello, and welcome to CultCast, the best 30-plus minute app conversation you can hear all week long. I'm your host, Aaron Elias. Join me today with Leander out. He gets to roam the halls in the official Cult of Mac purple silk robe. Oh, yes. Where's that tie? Have you found it yet? He cruises the streets of San Francisco in the official Lamborghini Murcielago company car. And at night, he sleeps like a baby on the official Cult of Mac company bed, which is a California king-size stack of brand new $100 bills. Managing editor of Cult of Mac, Lewis Wallace is here. Where's that California king-size stack of money? Is it behind that? Is it back there somewhere?
Money? What's that?
I thought that you got to sleep on that California King stack of money, the Cult of Mac. I mean, it's at the offices. You're not at the actual Cult of Mac World headquarters right now.
I'm not happy about this, but I just got a package delivered right now.
You
Just
got-
now.
you
Just as you're doing the intro. Can you believe that?
Well, do you need to go get your package right this moment?
Let me see if the wife can get it.
Yeah, what's she doing? Nothing.
Just a second.
Well, why is it so urgent that you have to? Oh, it's because you live in San Francisco, and if you don't,
and it's a motorcycle battery. It's worth about $150. So
Okay, yeah.
I'd really rather not have it taken off my stoop.
yeah. And in your neighborhood, you got about five minutes max, right, before the package gets stolen. You got to get down there
Yeah.
and take it off the porch right away.
You can always call the cops and say, "Oh, I've got the video," and they'll say, "Okay, you got to bring the video down to the office."
Oh,
Can't-
they'll actually respond? That's better than I thought.
Well, they'll respond by saying, "No, you can't report that online if you have proof.
Oh,
You have to bring the proof to us."
it has to be on VHS cassette. bring the video down on VHS cassette.
And you got to bring the tape machine too.
Of course, yeah. You got to leave that here. It's like,
Right.
Look, man, we don't have funding for all this. Just bring the tape. In Seattle, when I got my iPhone stolen from me, I was in a parking lot. Remember that? And they had it all on surveillance. I told the cops, and I was like, they have it all on surveillance. Like, you could go in there and get like the footage and stuff. And she's like, oh yeah. We'll definitely do that. You know, like. We're going to get right on that. We'll have 3 of our best investigators on that. And I contacted the 7-Eleven like months later. I'm like, did they ever come get the footage? And they're like, no one ever came by. Didn't even care. Cops.
That's impressive.
Never there when you need them. All right. Guys, we got a really exciting show. You ready for this? We have, iOS 16 best new features. And we're also going to talk about HomePods. Oh, man, we're going to talk about every new mail trick in iOS 16 that you need to know. You could enter to win a versatile Lout backpack. Did I say that right? Lout?
I like the way you say that. Lout.
Well, it sounds very German. I wish Leon Dieter was here to say that. He'd be like, who wants to win your Lout?
You know what that means in German?
What's that? What?
Loud.
Oh, it sounds like loud.
Loud.
It's too loud. It's like they don't say the D's, they just say T's. We have some more intel on Apple Watch Series 8. Oh, yes. And all sorts of other great tidbits in here. Before we dive into all the fun, which, you know what? What am I saying? We're already in the fun. We're fully immersed in all the
to our knees in fun.
in all the fun. Let me head on over to cultcloth.co, cultcloth.co, and hit up browser mode. I want to thank everyone for buying and supporting me with your purchase of Cult Cloth. Man, these things are just fantastic. I know I talk about it regularly, but honestly, they just work so well that even now I'm still surprised when I use Cult Cloth. What the heck? What the heck's happening? Hold on a second. No. It's
Another
fine.
Skype problem?
No. It's hold on a sec, guys. Well, I guess I don't necessarily have to do this. No, I need to fix it now. My my presentation of CultCloth is all screwy because somehow my browser tab got separated. Oh, wait a second. The heck is this? Oh,
You've been hacked.
No, I see what I did. I can't believe I did this. I opened up two sets of tabs, Apple tabs for the show. So I have two exact sets of tabs going, and I was looking at the wrong ones. There we go. I got it fixed. Phew, that was close. So cultcloth.co, and I want to thank everyone for supporting with your purchase. And if you're looking for a really high quality cleaning cloth to keep your gadgets, your phone, your sunglasses, your glasses sparkling clean. Lewis, did I ever send you any CultCloth?
Well,
I keep saying
you sent me one a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was immediately lost. Maybe the FBI can find that when they search through my house.
Yeah.
And
Man, you and Leander both. I sent some to Leander. He didn't get them either. And then finally I sent him another set, and then he couldn't stop talking about how great they were.
I could really use one too, man. My my iPad is not very clean, nor is all my screens.
I can barely even see your eyeballs behind that haze of grime on your glasses. How do you even
now,
get
those
around?
I keep clean every single day.
Yeah.
It's spotless because I can't bear to have even one little thing. But like on my computer screen, I've got dust and coffee spots, and it's
and then there's the
I'm
keyboard.
Going, look, I got to get rid of that period, but it's not a period. It's a spot.
It's like some piece of food that you were enjoying several days prior.
So lazy.
Yeah, man. I know what you mean. Well, I don't actually, because my gadgets and my keyboard and my everything is just sparkling clean. And CultCloth is made with a special fiber that is broken down in these really expensive machines, which drastically increases the surface area, and that's what makes it clean so well. And they're also densely woven. They're nothing like the cheap garbage that you find on like Amazon, the ones that you get for free. Like there's just no difference. There's just a night and day difference. Like these are unlike anything that you've used. You can even feel them working when you rub them over. Yeah, Lewis is holding up this cheap. I mean, look at that thing. It's first of all, it's tiny, so you got to like very delicately, use it on your glasses, because if you accidentally move your fingers outside the boundary of the cloth, you're just smudging it.
City.
Yeah, you're in Smudge City, USA, and not with CultCloth. They're nice and big and square. They cover your whole hand. You're gonna be living in Sparkleville.
I feel like it sounds like a gated community that I would like to live in. Sparkleville.
Sparkleville.
Where all your dreams come true.
If people buy enough CultCloth, I might build a community, and I'll let you manage the gate. How about that? Now you don't get to come in, okay?
It's okay. I'll sit out there in the little gatehouse and listen to podcasts and answer questions. People come up.
I'll give you a nice AC unit out there, a little mini fridge.
Oh man, if I got the mini fridge,
that's all you need.
What about a motorman's friend? I guess I probably have to supply my own.
Oh, what is a motorman's friend? I don't even know what that is.
Really?
Is that like a golf cart or something?
No.
Oh, motorman's friend?
It is. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. I'll Google it later. Let me Google that for you. .com. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's talk about iOS 16, Beta 5. So we'll talk about what's new, the new features, and this will be a great reminder of all the stuff that's coming to iOS 16, because there is a ton of great stuff coming in. I'm actually not using the beta. Did you install it, Lewis?
No,
I heard it was super buggy, so I just decided not to do this round.
Well, I've heard that the latest ones are stable enough that, basically you can do it if it's not mission critical. But
okay.
I don't know, man. I got to have my phone be solid. I can't be dealing with unexpected crap. It's an important part of my life.
All right, well, let's start off with the most controversial feature. So you probably heard murmurings. You heard murmurings of this week for sure, and that is that Apple brought back the battery percentage text inside the battery. It used to be next to the battery. I used to use this all the time. Thank you for the applause, Lewis. Were you plotting for me for my delivery or for the feature?
The news.
Well, hold on.
Return of the percentage.
I would hold that applause.
Oh no!
Hold that applause. I was excited to see this too, because I use this all the time. And if you remember when they switched to iPhone 10, because the notch, they didn't have room for it, so they got rid of that percentage. And eventually I got used to it, but I do have to constantly slide down from the right to see what the battery percentage is, and that is really annoying. So they brought back the percentage inside of the battery, but they didn't implement it the way that you probably think. And this is where all of the controversy has happened. So, Lewis, I don't know if you know how this works, but it is confusing. So I'm showing a picture here. This guy Rokas on Twitter was giving some examples of what it looks like, what it looked like before, what it looks like now, and then some suggestions to improve it. And so you could see before when the battery meter dropped, like that little white bar inside the battery would decrease with your battery life, right? But the way it works now is inside of that battery, the meter inside the battery never changes. It's just always full. And instead, they've replaced the sliding bar that's inside the battery with a number. So it might say, so in this picture I'm showing it just says 38. So that the battery looks full. It's a white battery, but it says 38, which means, well, what does it mean? Is there 38% battery left? I guess that must mean what it means. Yeah.
Seems to me like that is.
Yeah, that must
obvious.
be it. I was thinking like, is it that you've used 38% of your battery? But like that wouldn't make any sense at all. It's got to be you have 38% left. And I have to admit, I don't like the way this looks at all. Like I actually think this is a step backwards. And we had some people inside the thread show how they think it should work. So here's a much better example. You can see until it gets to 20% battery life left, the battery just looks full. And it just shows a number representing how much battery life you have left. And then it gets to 20, and that text will actually start to move. So we'll go 20, 19, 18, 17. And I think this is because Apple couldn't quite figure out like how to change the text when it has a sliding background, that bar representing power behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all these great alternatives that they could go with. I think alternative A makes the most sense. So in alternative A, this guy is saying what you could do is just make the bar color more translucent and then just place the regular text on top of it. I think this looks great. This is exactly what they should do. But I hope they don't.
Alternative B is not bad.
You don't like you yeah, actually I like B too.
They're both easy to read. The third one, C, is a little confusing. Yeah, you know, it's weird. When I first saw this, I was like, it instantly made me go, it looks kind of, basic, right? And I wonder, like, I cannot remember what it looked like in the old days, the good old days.
You can't?
No, I cannot remember. What did it look like?
Well, I can't describe it to you, but
was it? It wasn't like that, right? Was it?
No.
Like
it was. The text was next to the battery. Yeah, which is why they had to get rid of it, because that is one thing I hate about the notch, to be honest, and that was one of the things. That was one of my biggest problems with the 15-inch MacBook Pro, or the 14-inch, I should say, is I keep a lot of stuff in my menu bar. I use iStat menus to see a bunch of metrics about my Mac, like temperature and RAM and SSD space and all this stuff. And they put this giant ugly notch in the middle of the screen, and now you have less room for iStat menu. I don't even know what they call them. I'm gonna call them widgets. Icons, I guess. Yeah, but they're dynamic icons, right? And that was one of the things that made me go, okay, this is not gonna work for me, because if you get too close to the notch, then the icons that you have laid out in your in your preferences just don't show up because there's not enough space for them. And I was like, that's a major bummer, right? Like, why don't they just jump to the other side of the notch? Nope, they won't let you do that. So I moved to the 16-inch MacBook Pro. For that was one of the primary reasons, and now there's more space. But the notch just takes up too much space, man.
I need 2 more inches so I can get some more icons in my menu bar.
And you know what? It worked. So
I'm surprised they don't have that be a slide in the next, MacBook, 16-inch MacBook thing. Whoa, look at all the extra icons you can get in there.
I know that that's a use case most people won't run into because they don't use iStat menus, but a lot of people use something that is like iStat menu, which is where they have these icons in their menu bar showing them information, and the notch just takes up. I mean, that's prime real estate, right? Like up there, always on your screen, that is prime real estate. That shows you, that bar on your phone and on your Mac shows you stuff that you need to see. And so to take up all that space with a freaking notch, I mean, honestly, that might be reason enough to move to the iPhone 14. It's just to get rid of the notch.
Like a pill hole is going to be better.
Well, at least it won't impede your view of icons. That's all I'm saying, Lewis.
Okay.
Anyway. So lots of controversy about this week. What do you guys think? Which of these alternatives do you like? You can see Apple's version here in iOS 16 Beta 5. Alternative A, I think it looks great. Alternative B, for those of you listening, I didn't describe that one. They put like a white outline around the text when the battery life drops to a certain point, so you can still see it, and it allows the power bar to continue moving while still having the text on the screen at the whole time. So I don't know, kind of hard to describe, but people are not liking the way that it looks now, and I have to agree. I think this is a step backward. It's like your battery always looks full, but now you have to look to see what the number is. I just don't really like the way they presented this.
I got to say, these are much better, and they look actually way more like something Apple would do. That first one looks like something I would do because I have no Photoshop skills. I mean, the actual thing looks like that.
Oh, you mean, the way that they Apple's
version looks very, very basic.
Yeah, it does. And this is the legendary industrial design team. They could come up with something better than this, right?
They could fix it. It's still in beta.
Yeah, it's still in beta, and they might fix it. They might have a new version in the works. But if I were one of the designers, I would, if I saw this tweet, I'd be like, hey, that alternative is looking pretty good.
I wonder how many extra. Like, would it eat up more battery because it's slightly more complicated?
Oh, you mean if they change the aesthetic of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not for something like that.
That red looks expensive. Looks like it would take a lot of power.
That's too much. OLED. I mean, it's like reds are they are very power draining. All right, one of the other new features in Beta 5 is also controversial. In fact, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So it is a new alert sound for Find My. And this is probably one of my top used features. I use this feature all the time. So when you have an Apple Watch, you can ping your phone. And many people don't know, you can actually ask your other Apple devices where your phone is. Like if you say, hey, you know who, where's my phone? It will actually also ping your phone if you've never used this feature before, especially if you have a HomePod. And hopefully you all do. And if not, you can see yourself out now. Lewis, can you give it
That's a little harsh.
I do. I mean it, though, Lewis. If you don't own a HomePod, I don't want to interact with you.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry. I know that sounds harsh, but I think it's appropriate. Lewis, can you give us a little demo of what the Find My sounds like now?
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite features too, man. I use this all the time. I just I'll hold the phone up here so you can maybe hear it.
Yeah, see? That's a nice sound. It's like pleasant. Oh, there's my phone right there.
I use that all the time.
I do too.
My wife, she tends to ask, our good, friendly AI assistant, and I swear to God, it's like so much more slow and cumbersome than just going to your watch and pinging it. I don't know. You know that you can do make it flash too, right? Did you know that?
You can make what flash?
Make your iPhone flash using that.
Oh no, I didn't. That must be like an accessibility feature.
No, look, it's a finding feature. Look, if you just hold on to it.
Oh, it makes the actual flash come on.
Yeah. So if you're like looking for your phone in the dark, it's the best.
You taught me something today.
There's a first time for everything.
I did not know that.
They don't call me Dr. Wallace for nothing.
Well, it is your PhD in English, so that is one of the reasons, but also that. So if you just press and hold the Find My button.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the control panel of the Apple Watch. Yeah,
boom.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're getting off track here, Lewis. Shocker. So they put a new sound in place of that sound that Lewis just played. I'm going to play it for you here, Lewis. I don't think you'll be able to hear it because of But you know what, Lewis? Here. I'm going to send you this. And then you go and you listen to it. You go and you listen to it on your own. Okay? So that we can talk about the sound here in a sec. I know this is in the weeds. We're talking about a sound effect. This is what you guys come here for, right? But, honestly, this sound effect is terrible. Ready? Let me play it. It's awful. Can you guys hear that? Oh, you know what? Maybe you can't hear.
Barely.
I'm going to have to go and reposition my microphone.
Yeah, it
Can you hear that, Lewis? Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I hate it. I really don't like it.
What do you hate about it?
It just sounds generic, uninspired, and it doesn't sound like it would be as effective as the old sound.
Huh.
Give it
The
to me
other
one more
is
time.
A little more. God, it just.
Dipsy Dude doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me. I think I like
Yeah.
the original better, just because it sounds a little more calming and
Yeah.
sounds a little bit like Radar, right? It has
Exactly. You know what? That was the articulation that was escaping me. Yes, it's like ding 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 ding. It's like you're locating something.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
It's like,
subtle and good. The other one is.
That's what makes it good
sounding.
audio design. Is it's
Right.
connected to something that makes it sound like you're finding something. Whereas this one, it's like a bad ringtone. It's like 2 seconds of a bad ringtone.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a step backwards. Maybe
They
they'll
should
switch
fire the audio designer who made this.
Oh,
and not only that,
harsh.
he should be
Get with
banned
the
from working
harshness.
in the industry. Like, he should have to go sell women's shoes with Al Bundy.
And take his HomePods from him.
Confiscate his HomePods. I'll hang on to those. And then, I don't know if it's too extreme, but I think that he should be whipped. Don't you think?
Whoa, that's definitely too far.
You think that's too far?
Yeah, I think so.
How else is he going to learn? I mean, isn't that what you do with the Cult of Mac writers?
Oh, dear heavens. What?
That's why we have one of the tightest writing squads in the business. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Lewis, you're going soft. You're going soft on me, dude.
I'm a little tired.
Jeff Druin says best sound ever. I hope you're talking about the submarine sonar. Yeah, same here. Okay, so that's one of the other new changes coming to iOS 16 Beta 5. Look at this. We're like 45 minutes into the show, and we've not made it past the first 10 seconds of this story. Let's see here. What else do we got? Okay, let me rattle off these other ones. These ones are not exactly that interesting.
Wow, this is life-changing here,
This is
this next
life-changing
one.
stuff. So Apple renamed the emergency SOS feature from or they renamed the emergency SOS feature emergency call. Right?
Ooh.
Yep. And then you know what? This one actually might be interesting. Copy and delete screenshots. You no longer need to save screenshots in iOS 16 beta. There's a new copy and delete option, so you can do a share of a screenshot without saving it to your phone. That is useful. I do use that all the time. I take screenshots all the time.
Yeah, if they make it like one less step and also less likely to accidentally save the thing.
Yeah.
I hate having my iPhotos or iCloud photos just jammed up with all these
Me too.
screenshots.
And I got tons of them in there.
Yeah.
And you know what, Lewis? I'm just going to do this real fast since I have the picture up right here. There's going to be a new visualization icon next to in the music widget when you're playing music on your lock screen. Little tiny. Can you see that, Lewis? You were asking what it looked
that
like?
little like
That little thing.
that's it?
That's all it is. It's like a little it's right next to the title of the song. It looks like it's probably what, a quarter of an inch big. Just a little music thing that moves around when you play. There you go.
Wow, that's great.
The hits just
I mean,
keep on
I
coming.
suppose it's a visual indicator that the music is playing, which isn't the worst thing to have, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Don't be I thought it was going to be like one of those Winamp visualizers, you know, with the lava lamp kind of thing and the groovy psychedelic everything.
That'd be cool.
That's what I know
exactly what you're talking about, man.
One the size of a fingernail.
Yeah. Little tiny you know what? I love lava lamps. They really are cool. I used to own one.
Yeah. I still do.
You own a lava lamp somewhere? You should put it behind you, man. That'd be really cool.
Oh God. Don't even get me started with this whole thing. I actually had to ask the wife to clean this up today, and this is the cleaned up version.
You guys should have seen it before.
Oh yeah.
Lewis had to wear like those snow trekking shoes that you put over, like those rackets you put over your shoes just to even get to the microphone.
It's not good.
He almost fell into a crevasse of laundry.
It was a cramped little attic.
All right, let's see here. What else we got here? Music app enhancements. The music app in iOS 16 Beta 5 displays the Dolby. Oh, this is cool. Displays the Dolby Atmos in high-res lossless signs when tracks. There we go. Yeah, when tracks support Dolby Atmos or high-res lossless, now you'll see those icons in the music app, which is really great. Man, I would love to have lossless. They don't have that in Spotify. And I don't think they have Dolby Atmos yet either.
I'm very confused. Doesn't that already show up?
I don't know. I don't use Apple Music. And I never will, Lewis. I never will. While Lewis looks for that, I wanted to mention just if you're unfamiliar with the features that have been added in iOS Beta 4, we got tweaks to edit and unsend messages in iMessage. So iOS 16 Beta 4 reduces the time limit to unsend a message from 2 minutes after it is delivered. In previous betas, Apple allowed you to unsend a message within 15 minutes of sending it. I mean, that 15 minutes, that sounds reasonable. The changes to editing sent messages as well, or there are changes to sent messages as well. You can now edit them a maximum of 5 times, which is no longer, after which the option is no longer available. And there's a little edit button that you can click that will show you like what the message actually said. And then Beta 3, hold on real quick, Lewis. Beta 3 added iCloud shared library, lockdown mode, and the return of the clownfish wallpaper. So there you go. What were you going to say, Lewis?
Is this whole business of editing text messages? I mean, I guess it makes sense.
You guess it makes sense?
Yeah.
It's something that has been needed for years. Years.
Well, at the same time, it's like that's the form. And I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, can you imagine going in and editing a text message like 5 times? I mean, thank God they put a limit on it at least.
Yeah, I wonder why they put that limit in place. Probably
because it's ridiculous
probably
to
because
spend...
they didn't want to have to dedicate the UX research to figure out how they'd show you how to edit it, how a text message was edited more than 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, if you're spending that much time, getting your text message exactly right, perhaps text message is not the proper way to communicate whatever you're trying to say.
I mean, I think I would need a maximum of 2 or 3 edits, tops. But
I mean,
but the thing is I do think it's actually a critical feature. Like being able to edit a text message, it's the same with Twitter. What is it with this nonsense where everything is set in stone? Everything is a gravestone. It's like people make mistakes. They make typos. Unless you're talking about cultofmac.com where typos are not allowed. Typos happen all the time, right? And like the idea that you haven't been able to correct those is so ridiculous.
This is going to eliminate the whole, genre of like funny text message exchanges, right?
What's that?
It's gonna kill the genre of what's the term? Misintended or
when autocorrect messes something up for you.
Yeah, autocorrect.
Yeah,
autocorrect text message fail. Right. It's which I still get a good laugh out of those sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it's funny when other people do them, but it's really annoying when I'm just trying to send a message and I have to freaking resend like the message 4 times with an asterisk that says here's what I actually meant. It's like.
Right.
Anyway, all right. So there's all your new iOS 16 features. I'm excited, man. The thing is, we're only weeks away from new iPhones and from iOS 16. I mean, we're gonna have maybe 3 weeks. No, longer than that. It might be 4 weeks, but
and probably maybe even more than that. I mean, 6.
Well,
until
you actually get it,
right?
Until you actually get the new iPhone or iOS. So I know there was a story out from the Germinator this week that says Apple is actively recording their videos for the keynote event. And I kind of wonder if they'll ever do a live event again. They may never do another live event. I mean, they've kind of perfected this format, this medium, with these pre-recorded videos. I mean, they're so excellent now.
Right, but just because they're recording some bits doesn't mean that they're not going to have a live thing. I mean, it's probably true they won't just because there's still a lot of people running around California with COVID right now.
Yeah.
But, they also play recorded segments in their live shows. So it's not like, I don't know. It seemed like that was not an actual, ironclad proof that they're not doing it live. I hope they do it live because I miss the live.
I do too. I just think that if they do end up doing live stuff again, it's gonna be years. Like I just don't think they're gonna do it anytime soon. But I do like this format, I have to say. Like they're so well produced and so much less awkward than the live stuff.
Yeah,
Steve Jobs had a talent for it, man. Doing live stuff is not easy.
That's true.
Believe us. We make it look so easy and effortless, and every show is relaxed and entertaining.
And flawless. Don't forget flawless.
Yeah. This is a well-oiled machine that we have here, but it took us years of effort to get here. We don't even know how long we've been doing the show. Actually, I got a lot of responses from all of you on when we did the first show, so thank you for that. So it has been almost 11 years. It's going to be 11 years in February. So we inadvertently missed our own 10-year anniversary because I thought we were getting close to it, but we actually passed it. So
that's
happy 10-year anniversary
that is
to us.
Sad right there.
Let's see here. So let's move on. Let's talk about some other iOS 16 tricks that you may want to know about. Now, this is a big one, I have to say, because the Mail app has sucked for as long as I can remember. And if you've ever had to use Outlook, you know, as much of a beast as Outlook is, it has the kitchen sink and more, right? But it has a lot of features in there that actually are helpful when you're trying to manage your email. And a lot of that stuff is coming to iOS 16. If you don't recall, we'll go through all this stuff. Lewis, are you doing this story?
I guess so. Yeah.
Why don't you do it? I've been talking for like nonstop, like motor mouth for the last 30 minutes.
Hey, you do you.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. So
I don't know who else I can do, so
yeah, right.
it's only me.
I hate that saying, by the way. I can't believe I uttered it.
I actually don't like it either.
Yeah, so we got a list here of all the things to come, and these are big features. Undo send. That's gonna be great.
I'm trying to find the story while you're talking about this. Yeah.
Schedule an email. You could be schedule an email. That's great. I'm gonna have to try that. Remind me, which I suppose is just gonna be like, oh hey, you sent a message.
You're blowing through these so fast.
What?
You can undo an email if you send something and you want to get it back. Now you can do that. That's right? Huge. But even more huge than that, is the and you can control the delay of how long you want to wait. If you want to wait 10 seconds or 15 seconds or something before, I guess it's 10, 20, 30 before you can not undo the email anymore. And then scheduling an email. How many times have you been writing an email at night and you're like, I really want this to hit their desk in the morning, and you can't do that? So this is another huge feature.
Well, you can't if you use Apple's Mail app.
Well, what are you using?
Well, I use Gmail.
Okay.
And I use an add-on service called Boomerang that lets you schedule things for later and have things come back and remind you.
You're having to jump through all these hoops. You're like a circus seal at this point.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, and I was just saying earlier. I mean, I don't use the Mail app. Every now and then it gets, something triggers it. Like a link on a web page or something will bring it up. I don't really understand why, but because it's not my default email app and I don't use it. But I might have to start. I mean, it sounds like they're adding in a lot of the things that I like, and I mean, anything I can do to help me get on top of my email would be awesome.
Oh yeah,
it's a disaster zone,
dude. Mine is a terrible, sad wasteland of broken dreams. Like if anyone's ever sent me an email, I always tell people don't email me because I'll never reply. I was setting up my new 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I connected it to my primary email address, which I ended up I used to give it to people that I would contact for like product reviews, and at CES that was the downfall, man. And so when I connected my computer to that account, it said downloading emails, and the numbers started going like climbing up like a ticker, I was downloading 130,000 emails from Gmail.
They should have a sound effect for that too. That's the sound of like screaming, like just a pit of people screaming.
I don't know what to do about it, man. So finally, my solution was I need to nuke this thing from orbit, but I can't do that. So I came up with a new. I created a brand new email that I only give to real humans who I want to interact with. And then my old email account is basically just going to be used for, signing up for websites and that type of thing. And then all the communications will go there. And then all my human emails will go to my new email account. And that actually has helped a lot because now I'm like, I can give people an email address that they can use. I don't know why I didn't consider this earlier. But yeah, my email's out of control, man. Like most of us. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here, Lewis. What else we got?
Set a reminder to reply to an email. So like if you you get 10 emails, you only got time to do one, you can sit on there, you can say, oh, I'm going to reply to this one,
dude,
in 1 hour,
crucial,
or tonight, or tomorrow, or remind me at some other specified. You can set a specified. This is a feature straight from Slack, right? You use that in Slack.
I use it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I use it when I remember. When I tried it, it's nothing worse than inadvertently sending your boss a text or a Slack message at 10 p.m. and you meant to, it's like, yeah, embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's a faux pas.
Is it?
I believe it is a faux pas. I just
The gravity of it didn't seem like it had reached the level of faux pas. It just seemed taboo, to be honest with you.
isn't a taboo worse than a faux pas?
I don't believe so.
Taboo sounds
I think
kinky.
we need to consult the American Guide of Journalism and see, where those levels are. But we can take this offline. Let's keep this going. What else we
You can
got?
add rich links to an email, which is like if you want to paste in a Wikipedia link, for instance.
Now this is like directly from Slack.
Yeah, and it'll like in Slack they call it unfurling it, right? So you can either put in the plain old link or you could put in like a thumbnail, an image, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that'd be
Real
cool.
nice. Yeah, very useful.
Very nice. Let's see, automatically generated, blah blah blah. Or you can let's see.
Oh, reminders about missing attachments.
Oh, right. This is the like, hey, here's my invoice, no attachment. That is.
I think
Outlook
has had this feature since like 1983.
Yeah, this seems. I mean, honestly, some of this stuff is pretty low hanging fruit. But the only thing that worries me about it is that with Apple's amazing AI stuff and all the things that they try to do, like, what if they start asking me that for things that I really don't have an attachment that I need to add to?
Yeah, man.
Think about that. Think about all the ways this could go wrong.
Yeah, I'd rather not, but let's keep.
At least they'll give you an option. It says, "Hey, did you mean to send an attachment?" And but if you look at that, if you look at that, it says, "You wrote files, please. I have attached them in a zip file, Griffin Jones." But it looks like you might have missed adding a document. Do you want to send it anyway? I don't know. This sounds like it could be. I hope they get it right. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it could be frustration fuel. It's like trying to dictate a message to Siri, right? Where you do it and then you end up having to go like 13 steps to do it manually because it screwed it up. I'm with you there.
They're adding smart search.
Oh yeah.
Which, like I said, I don't use it. I'm a little surprised that this doesn't already happen. They're saying like if you like for instance, if you make an obvious typo, iOS will search for the correct term. Okay,
that's useful.
Well, yeah. I can't believe it doesn't already exist. I guess there's a lot of that in these actually. When you really stop and think about it, it's like, oh, how long has this mail app been around? Who's been working on it? Just did the whole team take?
They got like two guys
off.
2 guys on the mail team.
I said the month. I meant the decade.
Maybe
they have bigger fish to fry, right? Maybe they don't care. But interesting. Let's see. Follow-up reminders. When you send an email, see, this is one of the things that
dude, this one is
Google
crucial.
Does.
Yeah,
Google does this,
yeah.
and it's does Outlook do it too? I don't use Outlook either.
When you send an email and you don't get a response, the email will appear. No, I don't think Outlook even does this. I gotta say too, like this is a solid roundup of mail features. This is like all the stuff that has been missing from mail since forever is now all of a sudden all being piled in to the same update. This is very strange. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. This looks great. I'm so happy to see all these features. And as much as I hate sending emails on my phone, I think primarily I do send emails on my phone because I'm often not at my Mac to send emails. And so I wonder how much of this stuff is going to be included in Mac OS as well.
Oh, it's going to be in all of it, all these things.
Okay, that's right, because it's the app's probably universal across the different OSs now, since they're all using the same platform. So, like, if they make an update here, it also appears on Mac, I believe. So
yeah, and so
yeah,
this also gets you thinking, like, when are they going to do the same thing to the calendar app? Man, the iOS calendar app is just anemic.
Yeah, it's basic at best.
It's like the same deal as the well, that's why I don't use the mail app. It is because it is anemic. Now they add this stuff, maybe I'll start using it. And frankly, I would rather use Apple than Google. But
me too, man. Me too. I mean, Google's sniffing through your data, sending it straight to the NSA.
That's great.
And in today's day and age, I just trust Apple more and more with this kind of stuff. Like, I would prefer to actually use my Apple account than my Gmail account. My Gmail account has always been like my default account. And I started thinking like, well, why? And I think the reason is because Gmail is, they're ubiquitous, but they're not attached to anything, right? Like before Google, if you wanted an email address, you might have it through like your ISP, right? Which is a terrible idea. Like, John Legumes at Comcast.net. It's like, what? And then
Legumes.
You don't know John? Anyway, he's a great guy.
Johnny Beans.
That's what I call him. You do know him. That's great. I thought so. And then you get rid of your internet service provider, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, you no longer have your email address." So people started moving to like Gmail and Hotmail and stuff.
That is actually it. That's why I did it.
But the thing is they're sniffing, man. They're sniffing you out. Everything that you do, they're sniffing.
Yeah.
So like for me, I'm like, well, shoot.
unsettling.
Like I'm starting to use my Apple email addresses, and it's so easy to use your Apple email addresses and add new accounts. And they have all these great features in Apple Mail now, like your actual in your iCloud account, like you can like manage your email addresses, and there's like all these new features that they've added to like hide your IP address. You can very easily subscribe from like mailing lists and stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Anyway,
it's kind of weird that they did all that sort of advanced stuff before they got around to just this little basic quality of life stuff. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well,
I wonder
better
when
late
they
than never.
decided to like really spruce it up.
I don't know. Why now?
Wonder how that conversation went down. Craig Federighi's like, "Hey,
And then he
what
rubbed
have you
his
guys
hand
been
through his head
doing?
like this, right?
This mail app's it's got nothing. It's got no game."
And he's like, "You need to fix this." That order comes directly from TC, and he like leans over, and TC's behind him making that face that he gives people.
All squinty.
He's just so squinty you could barely even see those little eyeballs beating around. And that's how you know you better get this job done. You're gonna
I
wake.
really don't want to get squinted at by Tim ever
I
in
don't
my
either.
life.
It's terrifying. The only person that gets squintier than Tim might be Joe Biden. I'm not sure who takes the cake on that because Biden gets pretty squinty, but Tim might have him beat, man.
I'm more afraid of the Biden, the when he starts
TC?
the whisper.
The Biden whisper, yeah.
That's what.
I mean, the thing is, like, they're totally different. They have totally different meanings. Like when Biden is squinting, I mean, he's either in the sunlight or he's just thinking real hard, right? But when Tim's squinting, that's his fury.
He's coming up with answers.
He's got like that. It's just that real slight frown. It's not a full frown. It's just like slightly frowned down, like just barely at the very corners. It's like slightly frowned down, and then his eyeballs just get all squinty. Actually, you know who else who gets squintier than Tim? It might be Robert De Niro. I was watching something with Robert De Niro. I think someone was doing an impression of him, and his eyeballs were so squinted. I was like, "Are those things even open?" Like I literally can't even see his eyeballs anymore. They were so squinty. You couldn't even see past it.
Or was it him or was it an impression?
Well, it was actually De Niro. He was like, his face is similar to TC's. It's like a slight frown and then super squinty eyeballs. He's like, "Yeah, you're good. You're good, kid. I'm going to kill you later." You couldn't even see his eyes. Anyway, we've gone off track.
That's an interesting tangent.
Should we look at all the stuff that we have. Okay, we're almost done. But
we might make it.
We've only got 2 or 3 hours left of show here. But before we move on, Lewis, why don't you give a quick plug to the giveaway here?
Yeah, this week you can enter to win a Laut backpack.
Laut. It's too loud.
Laut, German company. We're giving away 3 of these. It's called the City Day Pack 12 LTR. I guess that means 12 liter.
That sounds about right.
Crazy metric system stuff.
Oh, very minimalist. This is cool.
Yeah, so these things retail for $69.99. We're giving away 3 of them. It's kind of small, compact. It's like 17.3 inches by 16.9 inches by 4.7 inches. So it's if you look at it, it's one of those ones that like every now and then I see somebody walking down the airport runway and they got one of those things. I'm like, wow, that looks so good. It's so like snug up to their back, right? It doesn't look like and then you see like another person like giant like me, all over the place backpack. Anyway, this thing's we're giving away black ones. They come in a couple other colors, but these are black, made of water resistant Cordura.
I like it, yeah.
It's padded, breathable shoulder straps, which is awesome. Secure padded laptop compartment. Although
Beautiful.
I don't think it goes up to 16. I think it stops at 15. Sorry.
Oh, too bad for me. I guess.
A secret hidden pocket.
Oh,
Ooh.
the muggers will never find it.
And my favorite, it's got the luggage handle strap, so that you can.
That is handy.
If you've, I mean, the one thing I don't like about traveling with a backpack is that if it doesn't have that, it's constantly on your back. If you've got to walk like through an airport on a hot day, it's nice to be able to just stick that thing securely on your luggage handle. So this thing is gonna be. It looks great. As with all of our giveaways, the way to enter is just go to homepage. You know, I'm sure there'll be a link in the show notes.
I'm literally showing them as we talk about this, but
Right
link
now,
will also
get
be in
in.
the show notes. Yep.
But if you're just listening to this now, just go to the homepage, cultofmac.com, scroll down a few screens, you get to the giveaway area, click the link there, sign up for our newsletter, visit us on Facebook, visit Loud on Facebook, things like that, things of this nature, as I say. All these different ways to enter, get your entries in, totally free. I think you probably have to be a United States resident. Very sorry about that. But, get your entries in. You got a chance.
You got a chance.
We see people all the time. They're like, "Hey, thanks, I won." It's like, yeah.
And how much did you say this thing cost, Lewis?
$69.99. Which, by the way, that sounds like a pretty good deal. To be honest, sounds like a pretty good backpack.
You know who else thinks though? Bill and Ted.
69, dudes.
Oh man,
that's their
setup.
Favorite.
I fell.
That's
right
their
for it.
favorite price, Lewis.
I fell for it.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So I'll put that in the show notes, and also, God, I love Bill and Ted. Dude, there's a new Bill and Ted movie out. I watched it. It's on HBO, and I gotta say, it's not great, but I do love it. It's Bill and Ted Save the Music. It's on HBO Max. Is it on HBO Max or is it on Paramount? It might be on Paramount Plus.
I watched this.
Did you hate it? It wasn't good.
It was very sad for me.
Why was it sad?
I don't know. It just seems like a played out joke, and I don't know.
I got to give it to you there, but I do have to say that Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves reprising their roles were actually excellent. Their ability to actually reprise those roles 30 years later, and they did it so well. I wouldn't say that I love the premise of the movie, and the ending was kind of dumb, but I did enjoy it. If you like Bill and Ted, I think it's worth watching. What's that?
What else can you ask for?
Yeah.
You enjoyed it. You had a good time. Took your mind off the COVID, took your mind off the monkeypox, took your mind off the war and rumors of war.
And I have all those things, It's like I have COVID and monkeypox and all that stuff. I mean, it's Bill and Ted. You're talking about it as though it's like, Shawshank Redemption. It's not supposed to be some cinematic masterpiece.
Right.
Although I think you could argue that it might be a comedic masterpiece, but
doesn't have a real deep meaning.
Yeah, it's Bill and Ted, man. I mean, it is what it is. All right. Anyway, let's just mention this real fast before we jump to the last story here, and then I'm gonna go.
You're all excited about that last one, man. I know you are.
I'm chomping at the bit to get that. I know
you're excited.
I know. I'm gonna get all squinty when I'm talking about it, so you guys know I'm serious.
But it's a joyful squint.
I'm not sure what a joyful squint.
Not a dangerous squint.
Actually, I take that back because De Niro's squint, I think it was joyful. He was like, "Hey, it's funny, kid, you're funny," But like, it looked just like TC. It's amazing, man. All right, who's doing this story? Did we decide?
Oh, it's unclaimed.
Okay, I'll do it.
I can't
Actually,
do it because
you do it.
Oh, geez.
You got you. I'm doing the next story.
All right. So this headline comes from Mac Rumors.
Yeah.
High accuracy Apple Watch temperature sensor revealed by patent filing just weeks before Series 8 unveiling.
There you go.
So there you go. Apple got a patent for a temperature sensor suitable for Apple Watch. Nobody knows if this is actually coming this year. I mean, it sounds like it probably is, but I've heard various, some people say yes, some people say no.
The rumors have been that it's going to make it into Apple Watch.
Finally going to make it. But there's also been people saying, no, they haven't got it together yet. But anyway, this patent was spotted by My Healthy Apple.
Everyone knows their site.
This
very
was
popular.
Filed U.S. Patent and Trade Office. I believe it's filed a couple of years ago and granted this week. The thing is titled Temperature Gradient Sensing in Electronic Devices. And I'll just read a little bit from Mac Rumors here. While the wording of the patent suggests that it can apply to any device, the only device depicted in the patent's illustration is clearly the Apple Watch, potentially hinting what specific application it has in mind for the technology. Most notably, Apple explicitly mentions how the location of the external probe may be located on a back surface, such as a back crystal of a smartwatch, and says the system includes a high precision and high accuracy absolute temperature sensor. Wall Street Journal points out, and everybody's talking about this. This could be used for fertility planning, insights into a woman's ovulation cycle. Apple, as you know, has been focusing on this. They got the cycle tracking.
Yeah,
deal.
man. It kind of seems like that's all that this is going to be used for. Like, I was pretty excited about this when I saw it, but then I read that this actually may not be used for seeing if you have a fever, which I was like, oh man, that'd be super cool. Like if you're starting to get a fever and you didn't even know it, and it could tell you that, like that would actually be really useful. But I don't think
there's no way that they're going to put a temperature sensor on there and it's not going to send you an alert that says it looks like you might have a fever. I mean, it's probably not going to say you have a fever or go to the doctor. It's probably going to say it looks like you're running a little hot.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
But can you tell someone's temperature by their wrist? I mean, they always do it under your tongue or on your forehead, right? Like, can they tell if your body temperature is too high by it being on your wrist? Like, your wrist is affected by so many different variables,
You dip it in hot water, picking a crab out of it, yeah. I
guess so is your forehead. So, I don't know.
This is one of the things Graham Bauer, our Apple Watch expert, wrote about this a while back. That's one reason that it's taken so long. The wrist is not a great place to have a temperature sensor.
Yeah.
For all those reasons you're seeing. It's an extremity. It's just not a great place. And but Apple's not going to have it be like this is your exact temperature right now. It's going to be more like trends, and it seems like, you know what I mean? It's because it's not going to be.
But the patent says that this temperature sensor is supposed to be like hyper accurate. So that sensor itself is supposed to be very accurate at telling temperature, but what it seems like we don't really know is like, is the wrist a place where you can take an accurate temperature and get like a reading if someone has a fever or not? That's I'm not sure of. Maybe this will come with an accompanying rectal thermometer that you just leave inserted.
Oh, jeez, yeah. I hope not.
That is one of the best ways
no one wants
to take temperature. You know what I mean? It's like my kids got it easy because we take temperatures in their mouth, right? But like when I was a kid, my mom had like this super long thermometer. That thing went right up your keister, Lewis, and that's how they took temperature.
I remember that. And those things were glass, and if you coughed at the wrong time,
holy moly,
whole world of hurt.
Ours wasn't glass.
But if this thing can be accurate enough to help with ovulation tracking, then obviously it's going to be able to say, hey, it seems like maybe you have a temperature, right? I mean,
I don't know.
Otherwise, is it completely pointless? I mean, it
would be for most people. Let me take that back. It would be for people who are not women, right? It's like, if you're not ovulating, then I guess this feature is not actually going to be that useful for you.
No one can answer the question.
Yeah, and only like ovulating women, right? So it's like, it's not going to be helpful for young kids or older women or.
I just don't understand how it could. I don't understand how it could not at least flag you and say, we think you might want to take your temperature because it seems like maybe you've got a fever. If it can give any kind of information that is useful in any way, right? I mean, how it's the most obvious application for it.
Yeah.
And if it's accurate enough to give actionable information about ovulation cycles, then how could it not be accurate enough to say, hey, Arfon, you got a fever?
Are you feeling sick? You got some sniffles? Your fever's 107.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's going to say, just like with the defibrillation thing, it's like, hey, it seems like maybe you're having a heart problem.
Yeah. Well, I hope
maybe you should check it out.
I do hope that we get some kind of temperature alert on there, because that was the thing that made it exciting to me, because otherwise I'm just not going to be able to use it. But because other than that,
be able to use it. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if all it does is measure your ovulation, it's like, what am I going to do with it, right?
I'm
rarely ovulating these days, Lewis. So, it's not going to do me a whole lot of good. And the other rumors that we've seen from the Apple Watch Series 8, the S8 is supposed to be, just as powerful as the S7, which was basically a rebranded S6. So you're not even getting any speed improvements. The screen is supposed to be the same. The form factor is supposed to be the same. So it's like, I want to buy a new Apple Watch, but you guys are kind of making it tough for me here. We'll see what they actually do.
It does become difficult to justify.
Yeah, if they're not going to add anything that is actually new and useful, then for me, I'm going to stick with my S6. But who knows? I mean, we'll see when they actually launch it, and we do have the rumors of the Apple Watch Pro, quote unquote.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do with that. But the Apple Watch, the 44 millimeter Apple Watch, just looks like cartoonish on my wrist, and I have like strong muscular wrists, but I think it's too big. It looks ridiculous on my wrist. So I went with the 41 millimeter, which actually fits my wrist. The strap doesn't, but the look does.
I love the big watch.
Yeah, let me see it on your wrist. Let me see. You got to have a big. See, I think that looks too big, Lewis. That looks too big. You got to have a big burly trucker wrist to pull off the 44. You got to have a big old ham hock. You got to have like Popeye arms.
I couldn't switch now. If I got one of the little ones, I think I would just be like looking down, going, "What happened to my watch? Get stuck in the wash or something?"
You know what? I got used to it pretty fast. Tomas is saying, "Is there a petition to bring back LK?"
You could start one. You could start a GoFundMe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he made a joke about a London handshake. The London handshake is no joking matter. I don't know if you ever received one, Lewis. I received several. And after consulting several lawyers, I decided not to press charges. But, sometimes I still feel the burning pressing of those fingers reaching in and grabbing a hold and squeezing.
I asked Leander about it the other day. I said, "Hey, man, when's your sabbatical ending?"
Yeah.
And he said, "I don't know. I really, to be honest, I dread the video.
Yeah.
My eyes. And it's ironic because he was the guy who pushed us for this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, remember
and
then
he complained nonstop
a
after
year.
we did
He's
it.
like, "Oh, and people might not know this. It took a good long while to get this amazingly polished
dude,
video
it was
product."
excruciating. We worked on this so much. We worked on this for months.
It was
months.
absolutely crazy how long it took.
Yeah.
And and then I can't do it anymore because of the video. It's almost like he had to, I know this isn't possible because he doesn't plan ahead like this, but it seems like he set the trap.
Like he set us up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might be right about that. Why doesn't he just show up in like a blindfold? You know what I mean?
Get him some sunglasses.
Yeah, we'll get him some of those Stevie Wonder.
Like a deer hunter rig.
We'll get him like that blindfold from that Sandra Bullock movie. Like Bird Box.
Right. What was that thing called?
Bird Box.
The Black Box.
No, Bird Box.
Bird Box.
Bird Box. I keep saying it, and you're like, "What's it called?"
I think he's more of like a deer hunter, Russian roulette kind of a thing, right?
What's
when
that?
that wasn't actually over the eyes, was it?
For what?
I take it all back.
I don't know what you're talking about. Bird Box was a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, I like
super
that
spooky, man. I liked that movie on Netflix. If you guys haven't seen it, all right. Someone's complaining. Adam Broussard. He says new HomePods. All I gotta say about that is, yeah. The new HomePods, they're incoming, dudes. They're. You know what? We've been on this. No one's been on this beat. There's no one in the world that has been on this beat better than me. I have to say it. Honestly, I think that's true, and I say that with all humility. I love the HomePods. I've made tons of videos on them on YouTube. I've garnered millions of views. I love the HomePods, man, and I was so sad to see when they got discontinued and truly baffled because they're such an incredible product. Okay, so we got more smoke. The heck is that, man? What are you showing me here? It's like a Faces of Death gif or something. What'd you send me?
Deer Hunter. Did you ever watch Deer Hunter?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it's such a great movie.
Yeah, never seen it. All I see is this violent imagery that Lewis has just sent me in the Slack channel.
I vividly remembered that Christopher Walken had that headband on, but for some reason I was thinking it was a blindfold. That's completely wrong. I was off by about 2 inches.
Although that would work. Let's talk about HomePods, Lewis.
Let's
Where
do
there's
it.
smoke, there's fire. My dudes, they're coming. We're not going to get just another HomePod mini update, which does seem like it's incoming. So
a new color.
It's probably what it's going to be, honestly. In Gerwin's Power On newsletter, he was talking about how Apple is going to be releasing new HomePods. We've talked about this previously too, but he was saying that there's a new mini incoming, although it's not going to really be anything that much different than
Super
quote
impressive.
unquote super impressive, according to Gurman, right? But now he and Ming Chi Kuo are talking about the HomePod 2, the replacement for the original HomePod. And I have to say, I am intrigued as to what this could be. So it's supposed to be a replacement for the full-size HomePod. It's likely going to be landing at the end of 2022. It could be as early as the end of this year, which there's not a
Wow.
lot of months left in this
That's
year, right?
coming
Like
right
5
up.
months, right? Or early 2023, according to Ming Chi Kuo. So now Ming Chi Kuo is on board with this. It's incredibly exciting. And then there's also other HomePod permutations in the works. Like one is like a HomePod with a screen on it. This is something that Gurman's talked about. It's like the Amazon Echo Show. There's one that they were testing that had like a pivoting arm on it, kind of like what was it, the iMac G3, where you had like the base with that wacky arm and the screen on top of it.
But this thing would like follow you around, right?
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
idea, you know.
Weird
Not
and
creepy at all.
wild stuff. Weird and wild stuff. And so
Supposedly one with an Apple TV built into it.
that was also maybe part of like their TV strategy, right? To have something that has like a screen, like the speaker and everything built in. That seems a little zany to me because I'm like, how do you do stereo pair with that, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm really wondering.
Here's the thing.
And I don't know. You all can let me know what you think in the chat. Like, what could they possibly do to make this different from the original HomePod, right? Like, the reason they discontinued the HomePod, as the story goes, is because people just weren't buying it. It was too expensive, and it was custom designed inside and out, and so Apple discontinues it. Well, what are they going to do for the next HomePod? Are they going to just reboot it even though it wasn't selling well? Or, I mean, the only thing I can think of is they would make the interior of it more generic. And I hope that's
Make
not,
it sound worse.
Yes. They'll just make it will be HomePod in name only. It will be Hino. You know?
I know.
Yeah, HomePod in name only.
Oh,
Hino.
got it.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise all they're doing is just replacing the HomePod with the one that already failed. Or maybe they're making it sound better, but I feel like the major problem with HomePod was the price point, so they're going to have to come in at a lower price if they want people to buy these things. Or maybe they're going to really jazz it up and give you a reason to... Now, this could be the other scenario, and this is the way I hope they go. They make it even more premium. They keep the price, but they make it even more premium, and they tie it in with Apple TV. And this is what I've always said they should have done. They should have made it a home theater experience, right? So you can buy them and have wireless speakers in your living room that connect to your Apple TV. It's like the easiest professional TV experience that you can buy, or high-end audio experience that you can buy, right? And Sony has speakers like this. I've mentioned these before. I forget what they're called, like the HT A9 or something.
It's like that $2,000 set you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a $1,600 set. It comes with 4 wireless satellite speakers, and then if you want, you can add a subwoofer. And people love them, man. I mean, they're totally wireless except for the power plug, and they sound fantastic. Everyone that reviews them loves them, and I'm like, this is where Apple should have gone, especially with Apple TV. So that the thing that I love about the HomePods the most is, well, I mean, besides the fact that they sound incredible, highlights a little shrill, according to Lewis, and I agree with him there. But they're so versatile. You can use them for music. You can use them for watching shows. The virtualized Dolby Atmos, even now, sounds amazing. Like, there's so many instances I've had in my TV watching experience where I feel like there's something behind me, there's something to the left or the right of me, and it's because I just have 2 HomePods in stereo pair in front of my TV.
That happened to me just the other day.
Did it?
I was sitting there watching something. I'm like, did you hear that? I'm getting up. I'm looking out the window. Is somebody like breaking into my truck outside? No, it was the movie, and somehow it shot the sound so far. It sounded like it was like 20 feet to the right.
Yep.
And it sounded so real. It was unbelievable.
I had that exact same experience. I was watching some content on Apple TV. They're the best with Apple TV, of course, because they dial everything in, right, just to be precise the way it needs to be for your HomePods and your television and everything. And I was watching some documentary, and there was like this Day of the Dead dance that these people were doing, and I thought that my neighbor was doing something behind my house. And I'm turning around, and it was my HomePods. It was
It's
shooting
uncanny.
Yeah, And there's nothing behind me. There's no speakers behind me. So I'm like, I was impressed. And if they came out of the gate and they're like, okay, $300 still, HomePod's new and improved. It's even better than it was before. And maybe jazzed up with some additional audio features. Now a main focus of it is going to be home audio entertainment, right? Home entertainment audio. And then it also does all the stuff that it did before. I honestly, I think they might have a winning product. They could even raise the price and sell fewer units, but make up for that with a higher price, and I would still be interested.
Yeah, I mean, it's true what you're saying. I mean, really, like, you don't want them to make it worse sounding, and the price was the problem, right? So
the price is the problem. Actually, you know what? I take that back. The price was not the problem, Lewis. You know what the problem was? People with bad taste. all these people are like, my $100 Samsung soundbar sounds amazing. I got it from Walmart. Like, those people are the problem.
Well,
people who have unrefined ears. Those are the people that ruined HomePod. Because for those of us that purchased it, we know what we got. I'm happy with the purchase price. I mean, I was a lot happier with $250, but
right. Oh, I wonder.
Yeah.
Did they really stress the stereo pairing right at the very beginning? I can't remember the timeline.
Well, it was forever before they even allowed you to do that.
So it took a while. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. You couldn't do that right out of the gate. I don't think. No, you couldn't, because I bought one and then I bought another one when they announced stereo pair.
Huh.
I believe it feels like it's been years, but I feel like it's only been 2 since all that stuff happened. So anyway, all that to say, Gurman's on board with new HomePods. Ming-Chi Kuo's on board with new HomePods. Honestly, I can't believe that it's happening, but these are happening. It's only a matter of time before a new HomePod comes out, and they're supposed to have a new top screen so that you can utilize the top screen in some way. Well, let's not talk about Siri. We all know what the reality is. Let's not mess with the fantasy. Hopefully they make some improvements there, because clearly Amazon and Google are way ahead, dude. My original Echo, its ability to answer questions is unparalleled. Like, I'm not even sure Google can beat what Amazon is doing. Like, the freaking Echo could answer such crazy good questions, and it does stuff that Siri clearly could never hope or dream to do. But that's okay.
What else?
Yeah.
Alexa is also more polite.
Yeah, you know that?
I mean, all these, like, oh, by the way, I could make it so that your lights go out at a certain time of day. Would you like me to do that?
Yeah, it's always suggesting new features. That's true.
Yeah, there's something about the tone of voice that actually sounds like, I'd really like to help you.
Yeah.
As opposed to Siri. I don't know. Sometimes Siri just seems a little aloof.
Robotic.
Aloof.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it. You know who's aloof? Me. We've been doing this show for about 6 hours now. Lewis and I
11 years and 6 hours.
45 minutes of pre-show talk before we're like, hey, we should probably go live. That's all I got. My mouth is so dry. I'm getting all squinty. My frown is turning upside down. That's all I can do. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's wrap up there. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. If you want the party to continue, we're both on Twitter, duking it out. I'm at Erfon, ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute app conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening. We'll see you guys. I'm trying to read the chat and do this at the same time. It's not working. Next time. Oh, man. Adam Broussard saying HomePod Max. If they released HomePod Max, I'd probably start crying. I might actually start crying.
Would that be their play? Go bigger, better, more expensive?
Yeah, $800 each. It's like it just looks like a trash barrel. It's like 4 feet tall. You turn it up to max and your ear bubbles pop. Firm handshakes to everyone. Absolutely. Oh, Max, the best a man can get. Ain't that the truth? I'd get myself a couple. All right, everyone. I am hurtling towards the end stream button as we speak. Everyone has a great weekend. A very aggressive Yeah. To all of you. Have a great weekend. Still waiting. HomePod Plus. That's not like get behind. Done.